Post-lunch, everybody. Happy Sunday. I hope you're having a good one. I am super excited to share this flight with you today. I've been a big Liberator fan. I got lots of new bottles to share. And plus, I'm going to turn the ticker on after I say hi to everybody. I'm going to give away a bottle because I've got an abundance of room. We're going to Kentucky in a couple weeks. So I figure I'm going to need more room for whiskey. So we are going to be giving away a bottle of the Liberator. And we'll zoom in. Malt and Ruby Port. This was a pick from the Irish Whiskey Club that I'm in. 59.1% ABV. So it's a proofy one. Put that over here. So let me see who all we have in here. We had Dave Vogel saying in here first. Cheers to you, Dave. Hope you're doing good. Cool Running. Cheers, Cool Running. How are you doing? We have Peter White. Cheers all. Cheers to you, Peter. Eric Gunderson. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, Eric. How are you? We got Donner Pass Whiskey. Cheers, folks. We got Debbie. Cheers, Debbie. How you doing? Mr. Mom 310. Cheers, Orlando. Hope you're doing well. Sugar Kitty. Me out. Cheers to you, Sugar Kitty. Thank you for joining us. I think I said hi to everybody. All right. Let me know what you guys have in your glass. Click that share, hit that like button, that subscribe, all those fun things. Let me get the ticker going here. I've got started in my glass. I'll put it back on the shelf here, which is one of my favorites from the Liberator brand. This is the Malt and Muscatel finish. This is one of the few that's actually not a port finish. It's a Muscatel sherry finish, 46% ABV. Gorgeous color. Gorgeous color on these. Put that back over here. So I decided to do a giveaway. I ordered a few of these, and I have a few extras. And I wanted to be able to share it with somebody. So somebody tonight is going to win this bottle. Let me put this on. There we go. We'll leave that on there. So $5 per entry. I've got PayPal and Venmo up there. Tag me in your entries, and you could get a chance to win the Malt and Ruby Port. So 59 is 118 proof, I believe. Pretty color on that one. And I'll give more. We're going to drink that one next, and I'll give you a little more details about it. Oh, where we leave off? Saw a couple more people sneak in here. Amy Oburn. Cheers, Amy. How are you doing? Good evening, everybody. Sugar Kitty. I need to get out the Panger and maybe make a cocktail, but I have no idea what you make with it. Honestly, you could use it in place of tequila for a margarita. Pretty much any recipe that calls for tequila, you can use poachine. I also have made a nice cocktail with lemonade. Lemonade and poachine work really well together. I've done, I'll add some lavender, or I'll add a little bit of cucumber, fresh cucumber to the lemonade. That makes a really good poachine cocktail. I did that with Smuggling Nun. It was really good. It was really, really good. I gravitate towards poachine in the summer, just because it's a little sweeter, it's a little lighter, it makes really good cocktails. Hey, Kathy Huey. Cheers. How are you doing? And got caught up with everybody. Green Spot Layoval Barton Port. That is one of my favorites from the spots. Love that one. I do have lemonade. There you go. There you go. Try it out. So I first encountered the Liberator brand back in 2020. They launched at probably the absolute worst time that you could launch a whiskey brand, and they launched on February 29th of 2020. So obviously, shutdown happened, and we're trying, and we're not getting out, and I wanted to get some whiskey from Ireland. And I talked to my husband and we're like, well, let's get a few bottles from Ireland. So I'm perusing, the listings online and I come across the tawny port bottle. And which is I'm almost out of it. Actually, I do have backup. I do have backup downstairs. But this pretty, almost like a rose gold color. And actually it was the inaugural batch, so it was even more pink. And that color just really caught my attention. So I immediately jumped on board with that one, grabbed it, loved it, and have been a diehard Liberator fan since. And I have been amassing, I probably have more Liberator than Liberator and Two Stacks and Cologne are the three that I have absolutely the most of. So yeah, Eric's in for 3 and Dave's in for 2. Let me add you guys to the list over here. There we go. All right, got you guys down. Thank you. Yep, gotcha both. Good luck. It's a good bottle. We're gonna drink it next year. So I immediately jumped on board for the Liberator brand. At that time, that was their only offering. It was still pretty unknown. As they released additional offerings, jumped on, grabbed those as well. So I ended up with all of their first offerings. Well, then they came to Ohio last year. They were actually one of the brands that Ohio brought in for their big Irish push. And it's funny. Actually, I talked many times with Sir Morris O'Connell, and he actually notified me. It's like, hey, I guess we're selling in Ohio now. It's like we didn't pitch it, but they contacted us. So um, they're kind of they're stepping back from Ohio. They're not going to be in Ohio anymore. So the bottles out there, grab them while you can. They're actually ridiculous deals right now. But it's a great brand. I actually have a picture too of the estate. And he says, just found a bottle of Liberator Ruby Port Stories and Sips. Honestly, don't remember this release. It was it's been a while ago, and I grabbed a couple of them and ended up um forgetting that I had them in the basement until I got more stuff and stocked it in there. And like, oh wait, I completely forgot I had this much. Plus, Morris brought me over a couple bottles when he came to town last year. So I have quite a few Liberator bottles stocked up down there. So they contacted us. Oh my god, I wonder how that happened. Yeah, I ended up seeing it was wonderful. And when I met Morris first time, run up and gave him a hug and asked him how his wife was doing. And my husband has offered me up for adoption. Absolutely love him. But here is so this is the O'Connell estate. This is in Killarney. So you can see the estate overlooking this gorgeous lake. This is on their the Wayward Irish Spirits webpage too, and you could see overlooking the mountains. And this estate has been in their family for I think it was at least 200 years that it's been in his family. If you go back and watch last Christmas, Morris was my guest at Christmas time, and he joined us and talked all about his family history. That he is a descendant of Daniel O'Connell, the first Irishman to British Parliament, and it's named O'Connell Street in Dublin. It's named after him. So this is the O'Connell family estate. This is in Killarney. So that is where all the whiskey is being done. And Morris's theory is that because of the trade winds that are coming into this valley in the mountains, between the mountains and Killarney, that the whiskey ages differently. Okay. Kathy, I see your message here. I need to log in here. All right, I got 4 for Kathy. Let me get you in here, Kathy. All right, I got you in there. You are entered. Thank you, ma'am. So I fell in love with this brand in 2020. I continued collecting these bottles that I'm about to try. Actually, two are the club bottles that were released for the Stories and Sips Irish Whiskey Club. The other two are very special. They were they're called Storehouse Specials. They were grain projects that were done at Wayward Irish, and Morris had sent out an email to the Wayward Irish gang, which of course I'm on the email list, and was kind enough to help me get a couple of the bottles. So these were not seen outside of Ireland, and I know they did not make many of them. But we're gonna go to our pour. Our next pour is going to be the bottle that is in our giveaway. This is the Malt and Ruby Port at 59% ABV. And I pulled out some details on it. Liberator, if you have not ever had a chance to try it, it's really some great whiskey, honestly. Morris has a lot of connections down in Portugal. He is able to source these really good quality, really fresh port casks. So a lot of times this whiskey is being put in there when it's. I think the very first Tawny Port release, he had the whiskey in it 3 weeks after it was emptied at Tawny Port, which is just incredible. Which is why it was had that gorgeous, just pinkish hue. So we're going to try this when we finish this is my first sip of the day. Love that Moscatel. I'm just a Moscatel fan in general. Hey, Josh Fritz. How are you doing, sir? We're doing our Liberator Irish whiskey lineup in our giveaway. You can see real pretty color on this. Let me pull up the details. All right. So this release is a double distilled single malt. This was 9 years maturation, and then they finished it in a 110-liter ruby port cask. So it got a lot of those ruby port notes in a very short amount of time. Boy, I did a crappy job at cleaning this glass. I'm going to switch glasses. There we go, that's better. All right, so this is a source whiskey. So this is Great Northern, 9-year-old double distilled malt, and then finished in a 110-liter, and I'm sure it's very fresh ruby port cask. This is gorgeous, very like dark gold color. Really pretty color. Hey, Ed, how are you doing? Afternoon, y'all. Cheers. Cheers to you, Ed. Hope you're doing good. We're drinking some Irish whiskey, giving away some Irish whiskey today. This has so much fresh berry notes on it. Like blackberries. That's crazy. Huge amount of, this is a lot more berry notes than I remember on this one. There's berry, there's some vanilla. You get a little of that malt. On the palate, I was getting more like a blackberry on the nose. The palate is deeper, is darker. It's more cherries. The malt, definitely, you get hit with those cereal notes first. On that malt, you get hit with a very, very prominent cherry note, like cherries and some vanilla. A little bit of spice at the end. Does not drink like it's 118 proof, that's for sure. This was the first bottle that the Whiskey Club did with the Liberator brand. There have been a lot of different bottles that different organizations they've done things with. They've done a lot of Friends of Irish Whiskey bottles. And then Morris has done his own of the little Storehouse Specials. I should have brought the beer from downstairs. He did a collaboration with McGill's Brewery in Ireland. That's also in Killarney. And I still have the bottle down in the fridge. It is a bottle of the stout from the brewery in a bottle of the Liberator port whiskey that was finished in the brewery. They season the cask with the beer, and it's port and stout and port. It's over there. But I should have brought that upstairs. Completely forgot. Completely forgot. Hey, Slapshot, how are you doing? Cheers to you. Oh, let's see here. So this was 185 bottles produced. I have 113. The winner will be getting 112. They are numbered. And they're 700 ml bottle. But this is really nice. There's a lot more berries than I remember. A lot more berries. Amy, I know you said you were drinking it as well. Let me know if you're getting these berry notes. Oh, thank you, Amy. I hit my refresh. Amy is in for one. Let me get you down here. Yeah, that is all on the palate. That is all cherry. Cherry and vanilla, and there is some spice at the end. Does not drink the proof at all. These honestly are some of my favorite, especially in the colder months. I find myself gravitating towards the Liberator stuff a lot for cookies, and I you guys heard me say, and I think you're on my Patreon. Get the heck on my glasses. If you're on my Patreon, you've heard me share that I make bread pudding every year at Christmas time, and I usually make it for St. Patrick's Day. Did not this year because I had to get up and get everything ready because it was flipping cold. But I usually make it every year for Christmas time, and it's the recipe that that I've always had. But then Sir Maurice O'Connell gave me the idea to soak the raisins in the Liberator tawny port Irish whiskey. So I've always kind of gravitated. I think it now it's kind of synonymous with the holidays is Liberator Irish whiskey. So it makes it a fun time of year. Hey, cheers, KSTNN. Hello, happy Sunday. Cheers to you. Thank you for joining us. We're having some Liberator Irish whiskey. I definitely get the berries. Yeah, it's coming off differently than the nose and the palate. The palate, I definitely get the more the stone fruit, the more of a cherry note. The nose is more the nose is coming off more red berry or like a blackberry. Yeah, Stories and Sips, Whiskey Club have had some really, really good releases. I think I have almost all of them. I did not get the JJ Corey release that they did because I was doing stuff with JJ Corey at the time. I have plenty of it. And I still do need to get it back up for that 21 year, but that I think is the only one I don't have. But they've had some really good releases, and I know they've got some good ones coming up. I'm excited about that. Oh, who am I missing here? All right. Yeah, so Morse came to Ohio. We sold in Ohio for a while. Ohio brought in a consultant that's been downsizing all of the Irish whiskey that's in Ohio. So you're going to see a lot of brands on clearance. And it's the way Ohio operates, honestly. They got rid of a lot of bourbon brands too. So they're downsizing greatly. The deals you can get on these bottles right now are just absolutely ridiculous. I think I paid $41 for my backup bottle of the Malt Moscatel that I was just drinking. The tawny port, I got it was $40. I think the double port was like $35, $36. It's something ridiculous. The Lakeview Single Estate, which is their whiskey that's grain to glass. That one is marked down to like $65. It's crazy. And it's an outstanding single pot still whiskey. So a lot of good deals we had. I think they're pulling back from the States right now. When I had talked to Morris when they were first in Ohio, I think he had intentions of trying to to come out in other states, just due to the recent environment. I think, they have, along with like a lot of brands, have kind of scaled back to Ireland for the moment just to see what shakes down. So it's a shame, but if you're going to Ireland, you can find these bottles. If you're in a state where you can get shipping, you can get these bottles. I know Irish Malts has these bottles. Celtic Whiskey Shop has these bottles. James Fox Dublin usually has them. Going back to that again, that's so yummy. That cherry vanilla is just coming out more. I think some of the spice is the proof. But as you go back to it, it actually balances out the sweetness really nicely. This is a really good pour. I haven't had this one in so long. I forgot how good it was. And it's really, really interesting. All right, let me get a different glass here. Now I'm going to save that glass for last because that one's proofy. All right. And just a reminder, if you want to get in the drawing, $5 an entry. I'm going to do the drawing probably around $6.50. Yeah, I'll do it at $6.50. And it's for a bottle of the Liberator Malt and Ruby Port Irish whiskey. This is 59.1% ABV. Cask strength. And a very unique bottle from a small producer. And it's a pick from a whiskey club. All right, let's go to the next one. So this is one of the special bottles that came out. Now, like I said, I get emails from, I'm on an email list for several different distillers in Ireland. I know, shocker. And this is one of the ones, and Morris was kind enough to get me bottles over to the shipping agent that we have in Ireland, who got them sent over to my friend who lives in New York for me, and she got them to me. So thank you, Lisa. So this is part of a 3-part series that Morris O'Connell is calling the Grain Project. And this was the first release. This is a grain and cream sherry. This one is 57.1% ABV. Now, I'm a big cream sherry fan. I didn't know I was a big cream sherry fan until Redbreast released their Christmas cake bottle. And that was for the Middleton Barrel Club. That was a ridiculously good bottle. And that one was finished in cream sherry. And I absolutely loved it. So when Morris said he had this coming out, I jumped all over it. I'll read you the details. Hey, Anthony, how are you doing? Cheers to you, good sir. How are you doing? Thank you, Eric, for dropping in everybody's links. So this was the Grain Project edition 1.1 cream sherry. So let me read this. I'm assuming it's the same notes that I downloaded, but so the Grain Project was conceived in 2022 as an experiment in flavor. 6 casks of the same 2015 single grain Irish whiskey were married together before being filled in 3 different cask types for finishing to showcase the influence of the cask on the same whiskey. So this edition is the product of a 20-month finish in a fresh cream sherry cask. This cream sherry is a blend of Oloroso Moscatel sherries. There's why I like it right there. And the cask imparts rich floral honey, dried fruit hazelnut notes to the buttery sweetness of the grain. And again, this is 57.1% ABV. Let me see if Morris gave us any more detail in his notes. Yeah, so he says in 2022, they married 6 casks of the same single grain whiskey for around 4 months, then filled them into these different casks for the influence. So it's had quite a bit of time. It had 20 months in a cream sherry cask. So Moscatel I like. This is from the cask is from the same bodega and refilled so this has been refilled in the sherry cask 3 weeks after the sherry's been emptied. gorgeous color on that. A nice orange color. That's crazy. No streams tonight. Oh, all hands on deck with the new puppy, Emma Lynn, 7 pounds, 7.5 weeks old, golden doodle. Well, congratulations. Oh, I do not envy you. I do not envy you. I'm over the puppy stage. That's awesome. Boy, yeah, you can smell the honey on this. It is honey, vanilla. I don't really get floral. I get a little bit of like a tea note, like an Earl Grey tea. Hey, Top Dog, how are you doing? Cheers to you. We're doing a giveaway. I'm going to pull the winner at about 5:50 tonight. I keep thinking I set it beside me, but I'm not. I'm setting it over there. So the winner is going to win a bottle of this is a club pick of the Liberator Malt and Ruby Port Cask strength at 118 proof, 59.1%. I'll set that on the floor since I keep reaching on the floor for it. There's a note in here that almost reminds me of bubblegum, but like the bubblegum that is in, remember the old Bazooka bubblegum, the comics? So it's kind of that waxy, powdery stuff. That's kind of what it's giving off, almost like that, I don't know. Like that waxy bubblegum from the Bazooka. I just remember it had like the little powder on it so that the comic wouldn't stick. When you first come over to it, it's just all honey. That is so good. It is all that you get a lot of that muscatel. There is a little bit of almond that I'm getting on the palate, but honestly, you're hit first with that like honeycomb vanilla almond. It is very buttery, very sweet whiskey, which would make sense. But the single grain Irish combined with a muscatel that's a sweet whiskey. This one's the cream sherry was a blend of the Oloroso and the Moscatel. The Oloroso could be where I'm getting that almond note. Now, if you are interested in one of these, unfortunately, I think the only place you might maybe find them in a carryout store in Ireland, you might find, especially if you're around Killarney, so carryout Killarney, you might be able to find one. Other than that, it's probably going to be in the auction sites because this was a very small amount of bottles. Hey, Mr. Mom is in for 2. Let me add you there. Ooh. I'm on computer. All right. Earl Grey equals bergamot, bubblegum, banana, strawberry flavoring. Yeah, the bergamot I've gotten on the Redbreast Moscatel. I did get some like the bergamot on that, which I do like bergamot. Yeah, this is definitely, I could see the banana strawberry flavoring on it. But it does definitely have almost like that, I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like a waxy note. But the palate is completely different. The palate's just sweet. Yeah, the palate is like honeycomb, vanilla. This a little bit of an almond note. It's got a little spice, but definitely a bit sweeter. So this one again, they did not make a whole lot of these. This does have the cask number on it. I have bottle number 24, and it has the cask number. I don't know if he told me how many bottles they were making of this one. But they do these storehouse specials sometime. You could see it's just a smaller bottle. It's a 500 mil. And these are special releases that they do that Wayward Irish does that they don't really have enough to make the full size bottle of mini. And so they release these smaller bottles so they can just produce a little more and get them out there to people. And that one you would, I think if you pop into Carryout Killarney, they might have it in their shop just because it's local. But aside from that, you would have to find this on an auction site. I know this one released, I believe it was around December that I got the email. Um, so you would have to probably check out like Irish whiskey auctions, I think. Oh, the powder on sugar and cornstarch. Okay. Powder on the bubble gum. Yeah, it might just be the waxy note that I'm thinking of then. Although cornstarch would make sense. I mean, single grain Irish, it's corn. But that's what reminded me. Honestly, when I go back over this, it's honey and the bazooka bubblegum. This is a good one. I do like this. Now, I don't know if he told me how many that they made. He did not tell me how many they made. Oh, yes. Okay. Well, there were 400 of the 500 ml bottles, and 120 were released for Ireland, and the rest went elsewhere to, I believe he was doing some whiskey live events in Paris and in Germany at the time, around that time. Um, we could actually request it because we're part of the Wayward Irish gang. We could request our number. I didn't request a number. I just asked if he could put a bottle aside for me. The cask he said was disengorged at 62%. He felt it was a little hot, and so they reduced it to 57.1% because he felt that was the sweet spot for it. So that was the grain and cream sherry. Let me know if you guys have had any whiskeys that are finished in cream sherry. I don't know if there's any. Are there any Scotch? Have they gotten into a cream sherry finish? I don't think I've ever seen a bourbon or American whiskey finished in a cream sherry. Hey, Anthony. Thank you. Anthony is in for 4. Down here. All right, I got you in there. But yeah, let me know. Cream sherry is even Irish whiskey, it's not common. This is probably only the second whiskey, maybe there might be 3 that are finished in a cream sherry finish. It is third. It is third because Redbreast 18 is partially cream sherry as well. But yeah, it's still not super common. I really enjoy this one. That Redbreast Christmas cake. Yeah, those don't pop up on auction very, very frequently, and when they do, they fly out the door. And I think this one at the last auction, gosh, I think that one went for. I stopped watching it. It still had a day to go, and it was like $355 already, or €355, and it would go every bit of 400 for that bottle. And there's just not a lot floating around anymore of those bottles. And it was outstanding. I would have bought another one, but little too pricey. I did get a backup of my Redbreast 10 cast strength, and got a gift for someone, which I will not mention because he doesn't know it yet. I'm waiting to get it here before I let him know that I picked it up for him. Oh, Deanston. Okay, Deanston Scotch is in a cream sherry. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if anybody else. It's so new to Irish even, and Irish are pretty free and loose with experimentation. So I didn't know if any other producers had tried cream sherry yet, but it definitely works with the right cream sherry. Um, I could definitely. I don't know about a bourbon. I could see a rye. I think a rye would be pretty good in cream sherry. All right, let's go to the next one. This next one, I don't have super, well, yeah, it's got a label. So this next one is another in the grain project. Yeah. Brenda needs to do a cream sherry. I 100% agree. Brenda needs to do a cream sherry. I think Cologne would be great in a cream sherry. I can imagine with a little bit of peat, that'd be really good. The Liberator does have a peat and port that's outstanding too. Yeah, that'd be really good. I'm watching. Good job. Oh, thanks, guys. Those are friends down the street. Most whiskey just does Oloroso PX and mixes the way they want them. Yeah, Palo Cortado has been really huge in Irish here of late. It seems like everybody's using Palo Cortado. I know W. O'Connell was, JJ Corey was, Two Stacks, Cologne, Dunbills. Like everybody was on the Palo Cortado bandwagon. And so that's one that we see a lot. Oh, hi, honey. That's my husband. He's down at our friend's house. All right. So this next one was the second in the grain series. This was a grain project 1.2. Morris did let me know that out of the three, this was his favorite of the three. So this one is a 19-month finish in a fresh ruby port cask, sourced direct from La Quinta. Is it? I hope it's Quinta, Quinta. Sugar Kitty will let me know if I got it wrong. The cask imparts rich and powerful notes of ripe red berries and cherries, cinnamon and spice, complementing the full creamy undertones of the grain. So this one is a little bit higher proof. This is 59%. This was bottle number 56. So this one again, they only did, I believe it was 120 bottles for Ireland. Yeah, 120 bottles for Ireland. This one actually, I got before it released. It released in February. And when I contacted him, he said, we've already bottled up some of it because we've had requests. And so I'm like, well, can I have one of those too? So the third in the series has not come out yet. I'm excited to see what that's going to be. So this is, again, it's a grain whiskey that has been finished in a ruby port cask. So similar to our release or the giveaway tonight, but a little different that it's part of this experimentation and that the same whiskey was just separated and had this interesting finishing done to it. Hey, off topic whiskey. Cheers to you. Doing a little editing in and out. Y'all drink water. Cheers to you. Number of scotch is done in Palo Cortado as well. Yeah, Palo Cortado is big right now. It's kind of, I hope it kind of waves off a little bit because honestly, I don't want it to be like the Amburana here, or in the like everybody was just doing. Everybody jumped on the Amburana bandwagon for a bit. It seems to have died down a bit, and now the big finish is kind of Amontillado. You're starting to see more in an Amontillado finish. So this whiskey, again, this is just the little 500 ml. This was 1.2 in the little 500 ml bottle, and this one released in February. Now I get a little bit of berry. I got a lot more in the nose of the cream sherry. Do I think there is a sherry review channel? I bet there is. I bet there is. I bet there's like a fortified wine, somebody that just does exclusively fortified wines. I mean, there's a lot of wine channels. So I bet you there is. Hey, James Morgan, cheers to you. How are you doing? Yeah, Richie, let me know if you find one because that would be interesting to see someone who is well versed in fortified wines to get their take on everything. That would be really interesting. Yeah, I'm starting to get a little more berry on this, but so far I'm just getting the sweetness of the grain. Uh, Devin and the neighbors are drinking 1792 with Modelo. I was remembering the first time I ever had the Liberator was at Dick Mac's pub. We had just watched McSaughter get engaged overlooking Dunking Harbor. It was a great day. Aw, that's such a good memory. That is such a good memory. First Fill, I think. First Fill, I think has a series on sherry for whiskey drinkers. Oh, there are lots. I figured there's got to be a sherry channel, either sherry or just fortified wines in general. Still, just got. I don't get as much of the berry notes on this one. And when I put them side by side when I first opened them, I actually preferred this one to the cream sherry. This one is it's taken more time to open up. I'm starting to get a little of the berry. I thought it was like raspberry, strawberry. It's a brighter berry note on this. A lot of vanilla, a lot of honey. Get that corn sweetness. Everybody likes First Fills. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have to check out his video on the sherry because that'd be interesting. We learned a little bit about sherry at Ecklenville Distillery. Um, I didn't, I knew that there were different sherries, but I'd never actually tried the sherries themselves. So that was probably one of the most unique tasting events I've ever been to. And we got to try Fino sherry, a Palo Cortado sherry, an Oloroso, and a PX. And the PX was my favorite. Of course, it was sugary sweet. And I guess I didn't realize that Fino was really that citrusy. It was a little different. Looks like Beginner's Guide to Sherry videos from Pete Turner and another video from No Sediment. Oh, there's a few out there. I'm gonna go back and watch this and bookmark those so I can check those out. Hey, Stacey H and the rest of you river dancers. Hey, cheers, hanging AZ. How are you doing? We're having some Liberator Irish whiskey. And we are giving away a bottle of the Liberator Malt and Ruby Port, 59% ABV. Yeah, this is opening up more that the air hits it. It's still very light, more like raspberry, strawberry, vanilla, honey. A little bit of spice. Does not drink the proof, which at 59%, 118 proof. It's grown on me. I probably have to sit them side by side. Again, leave them to open up and see which one I like better. Because the first time I tried them, I preferred the this ruby port, and now I think I'm preferring the cream sherry. So how does one get in on that Liberator asking for a friend? If you go to, you see the banner at the bottom. I've got PayPal and Venmo, and just $5 in entry. Tag me in the comments with your entries. I will get you entered into the contest. I'm pulling 5 more minutes, and I'm going to pull the winner. Hey, Donald Rance, how are you doing? Cheers to you. We're drinking some special Liberator bottles. You probably like these, Donald. It's a special grain project experimentation from the Liberator. We just had the one that was finished in cream sherry. This is a cask strength finished in a ruby port cask. These little 500 ml bottles. This is edition. They did three different ones. They did this is 1.1, 1.2. They're still got to come out with 1.3, and they're pretty darn good. I'm going gin and tonic. Later got the new Hendrix. Believe that is a gin. I'm not a big gin person, so I don't really know all the gin brands, but I think Hendrix is a gin, right? Hey, cheers, Buffalo Bourbon enthusiasts. How are you guys doing? James, he will when I get off my sorry tail and actually reach out to him on Discord. Donald, I'm so sorry. It's been crazy busy here lately. I need to reach out to Donald. I definitely need me and Donald need to sit down for another live stream. It's so much fun. You guys don't get a word in, but we have a blast. Gin and tonic used to be my go-to. I went for vodka tonic. There are some gins that I've tried that I've liked. Short Cross actually has a really good gin. We came home with a bottle of it from Ireland, and that was a really good gin. Just I don't like juniper, and most gins taste like juniper. So, all right, let me do this. We've got one entry from Jen, my neighbor. Add her into the contest here. All right. Got 3 more minutes to get your entries in. Then we'll draw our winner. We're going to move on to our last pour here. And I went and used the wrong glass. That's okay. I'll use this one. I didn't want to pour a lot of this one because this is the proofiest. I do really enjoy this one, but she's proofy. She is a proofy lady. So this last one is the Liberator. This is also another Stories and Sips Irish Whiskey Club pick. This is the latest one. The Liberator Grain and Rye. And this one is bottled at 62.8% ABV. So this is a 10-year-old Irish single grain whiskey that was matured 9 years in ex-bourbon barrels and 20 months in a Catoctin Creek American rye cask. They only had 177 of these bottles available. I have bottle 101. Again, I mean, the color on these Liberator bottles are just, all of them are gorgeous. All natural color. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody's comments. So I'm a big rye fan. I was really excited when this bottle was announced. I got a couple of them. And I remember trying this one. I really enjoy it. I remember it being very proofy. I don't think I've gone back. It's been a bit since I've gone back to this one. I love you get that minty rye spice on the nose on this one. It is one of the higher proof Liberator bottles that I have. It was at 62.8, so just about 125 proof. That is proofy. All right, one more minute, and I'm gonna pull our winner. Hey, Joe, how are you doing? Hope everybody's having a great weekend. Smash that like button. Thank you, Joe. It's good to see you. Joe, we need to get together for another live stream. I need to just set them up. Life has been busy. I had a niece graduate high school. which just shouldn't happen. She shouldn't be that old because that makes me that old. We've had the holiday that has been nonstop rain. My birthdays, husband's birthdays. It's been crazy. I actually do have some streams I'm working on. I'm working on one. I got to reach out to Whiskey Cask about doing. I thought it'd be really fun to do a full lineup of the Iberian series red rust. So we're gonna line them all up and see kind of how they compare to each other. I have all 5, so that'll be. I think that's going to be really kind of cool to see how they all compare to each other. I've been reaching out to a few brands, so I'm working on getting some stuff lined up. I will not be streaming. I'm going to stream next week. I'm not going to be streaming on the 14th because I will be in Kentucky. We're probably on the way back from Kentucky. But we are going to Four Roses. We're going to Wild Turkey. We're going to Larrikin. We're going to Castle and Key. We're gonna let me know if there's any others in that area we should definitely check out. We're going to be based like Frankfurtish. Ooh. This is a little proofy. It does have that heat at the end, but the flavor on it's so good. You get that buttery corn sweetness, like corn pops, like that sugar corn pop cereal, and you get that nice spice with the rye, a little bit of mintiness with the rye. I keep going back to this, and this is actually, there's not many that I would add water to, but this one I'd add a little bit of water to, but it's so good. Oh, I've always hear about the Pursuit experiences. Yeah, they're in Louisville though. I think they're in Louisville. We went to Louisville last time we went. We're not going to be going to Louisville this time. I think they're in Louisville. I could be wrong. We're fortunate that we're just 3 hours from Kentucky. All right, let me get our giveaway. I'm going to call it for the giveaway. So let me get these names in. To our wheel. Okay. Sure, I put these here. Four Roses just south of Welch. Oh, it's Woodford's just there. Okay, we'll have to pop into Woodford. So Jen, if you're still watching, put Woodford on the list. We'll pop into Woodford. Pursuit's in. Okay, I thought Pursuit was in Louisville. I got invited there to do a barrel pick, and I wasn't able to do the Pursuit. And I did. That was Nulu and Pursuit, and I thought they were in Louisville. All right, we'll definitely check out Woodford. We're doing those. I knew those were real close to each other. And then Castle and Key, because it's a freaking castle. I mean, it's right there too. So, all right, let me add to stage. No, wrong one. Here we go. All right, let's give this away. Share screen. All right, somebody give me a number between 1 and 10, and I will shuffle that, and we will pick ourselves a winner. McBrayer bourbon is pretty good. I'm not sure if it's in that area. Josh was first in here with, whoops, there it is, number 6. Okay. Jen, between 1 and 10. All right. Yeah, Anthony wins. All right. We have number 6. So let me shuffle here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good luck, everyone. Anthony is the winner. Congratulations, Anthony. Congratulations, Anthony. I will get this bottle out to you. I think you're going to enjoy this one, especially like a port finish. Bingo. You're like Babe Ruth calling your shot there. You did. Yeah, you called Homer. That's what I thought. Yeah. Right. Damn hanging, you jinxed him. Ah, you do like port. You're gonna like this one then. You're gonna like this one. Cask strength, ruby port, malt. You're gonna like this one. It's a good one. We're gonna have to do this again. I have other bottles, and I'm realizing I have an abundance of some multiples. I could get rid of some, and that way I could share out more whiskey. Um, I've been thinking about, maybe I'll do at one point I'll do like a Weller 107 giveaway because I can get Weller 107 a lot easier than a lot of people can. So yeah, the doodle came through. Yeah, your doodle is lucky. It's a good luck doodle. All right. Thank you guys for joining me today. This was so much fun. Hang on, I need some lotto numbers, right? Share. You got to share some lotto numbers. So I'm gonna do again. I'm gonna do a live stream next week, and then the week after, I will not be doing a live stream. I'll be away. But yeah, I'm gonna probably do some more of these giveaways. Oh, what is a Weller retail price these days for 107 here? I think it's like I can tell you. Hold on here. I mean, you can get them. You just got to get out of bed on a Saturday morning. But let's see here. It is $60, and we've got a bottle. We've got a backup, but a backup. So close. It was 60. Yeah. Should do the live stream from Kentucky. Yeah, I mean I could jump on one Saturday night. Maybe I'll jump on somebody else's on Saturday night. We'll be traveling on Sunday. $70 or less is good. Yeah, it's allocated here, so you just have to get up on a Saturday morning and go get one. And you really don't even have to get in line. Honestly, some weeks they're starting to release it a lot more. And last week they had a drop, and you could have gone to actually it was a couple times. They've had drops recently where it was still there a couple hours later. So you just have to go to the store on a Saturday morning when you know the drops are and get it. 199, holy smoke. Yeah, maybe I will go get one and do that. Maybe I'll do that since Ohio's the land of the Weller. All right. Well, Kilgo is going live here in just a couple of minutes. So make sure you go over, check out Kilgo's stream. Tell him I sent you. Hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and we'll see you next time. Sláinte.